Mr. Freedman, first of all, because I think the first question that many people have asked me is Dougie or Dougie? Dougie. Dougie, welcome
got
back
that.
to,
yes, got that.
Back to Forest.
Thank you.
Why Forest?
Why not? You know, what a fantastic opportunity it is for myself to come in and coach at a wonderful club, great history. You know, I think, you know, any professional manager in the game, you know, would be delighted to work at this football club. So there's many reasons. You know, the fantastic squad, great fan base, great stadium, great history, great support mechanism around me. So it's a fantastic opportunity.
What would you say as you come in are your main priorities? What are your immediate concerns?
We've got to win games of football. It's as simple as that. You know, we can talk about a lot of different things, but we've got to win games of football, and we've got to make sure that is our key goals and everything else that goes with it. You know, but winning games of football, what we've got to do, we've got to put, you know, confidence back into the squad and make sure everybody's heading in the right direction.
It's clearly maybe a tougher job than it might otherwise be, given the off-the-field restrictions with the transfer embargo. But is that something you've kind of had a little bit of experience with? Not so much an embargo, but working with
Exactly. You take the words out of my mouth. I feel that, you know, certainly my previous two clubs, you know, there was restrictions there in terms of signing players, so that it doesn't come nothing changes there. It just becomes a word used in embargo. You know, we have got a fantastic squad, great bunch of lads to work with this morning. Showed real good commitment on the training ground. You know, and if the truth be known, I don't need to add anybody, so it's something it's not at the top of my list to talk about or to do.
I suppose to that end, you may be a bit surprised that the job came up when you look at the quality of the squad, and clearly you've been involved in the Championship this season.
Yes.
Are you impressed with the quality?
Fantastic squad, you know, great squad, good depth as well, which you need for the Championship. A lot of games coming up, so you need to make sure, you know, that there's everybody's out there training. You know, at the beginning of the season, you know, these group of players were flying high at the top of the table, so you know, there's no reason, you know, why they can't climb a table and start winning games.
Can you tell us about what you might be doing, Dougie, backroom staff-wise? Because obviously there was quite an exodus yesterday.
Yeah, there was. You know, I'll be my trusted colleague Lenny Lawrence will be coming in to assist me on the training ground, and the rest of the staff are going to promote within. You know, there's a lot of staff at the training ground that work in the academies, and I just feel that, you know, it's good to promote within, and we're going to have Steve Sutton's going to come up and help us with the goalie coaching, and we're going to one or two of the scouts going to help us, and Jimmy Gilligan, we're going to just chip in. So it'll be me and Lenny Lawrence will come in, and we'll be assessed by, you know, the squad that's underneath us.
You've worked before, of course, often with Lenny Lawrence. How important is it to you to kind of have that, I don't know, trusted sounding board?
Well, you know, yeah, listen, Lenny's obviously been many things to me, you know, and he's been a mentor as well to me. You know, when you go into the management at, you know, 35 years of age, it was difficult, but I think, you know, he's been more than that. You know, he's a very good coach and somebody that I can bounce my ideas off. But, you know, we've worked together in the past. I just felt, you know, as you said, with a lot of staff leaving yesterday, I just felt it was important to hit the ground running, have somebody around me quickly that knew exactly what I wanted.
If I can bring John in, John as the club's ambassador alongside you there.
Yep.
Why Dougie Freedman?
Dougie was available, and although it was a kind of all of a sudden situation where, you know, we've decided to part company with a manager, we're glad we got a yes from Dougie, because he's got experience, he knows the league, he knows the players even, so it was an ideal situation where we've got someone that's available, you know, without thinking about, well, you know, we'd like him but he's with another club, you know. So it seemed an immediate appointment, and it was exactly that. He was available and we're glad he's joined. Can
you maybe clear something up for us? I know that the chairman, Fawaz Al-Hazawi, had offered Stuart Pearce some other employment with the club. Has he accepted that, turned that down? We don't really know what that was either.
Yeah, I don't think Stuart's accepted it, but Fawaz was, you know, delighted. He knows Stuart's reputation as a former player. He's fully respectful of how much credit he brings to the club. And obviously it was just the results were the reason that he left the club. So, you know, he's in a position where he thought, can I keep Stuart? I think he was maybe thinking about Clough and Taylor, you know. Stuart's a great choice of players, and maybe we needed a Clough there to talk to the players. So, to be fair, you know, he showed such respect to Stuart that he didn't want it to be, you know, a less than amicable situation where he just says, look, I'm afraid we're going to have to part company, but you know, if you'd like to stay on as a director of football or something in that capacity. But of course I don't think Stuart was prepared to accept that.
John, away from the appointment of Dougie, it's been a bit of a traumatic 24 hours or so, with the chief executive leaving the football club, and then allegations made by Darren McAntony, the Peterborough chairman, last night on Twitter about the club maybe not meeting a payment. Have you got anything to say about that? Would you confirm or deny that?
Well, unfortunately, it's not my department. I'm not in the financial department of the club. I'm in the PR part of the club, and you know, my role as ambassador is to promote the club wherever I can, Colin. You know, I mean, occasionally the chairman will ask me my opinion, as he will people close to him. But you know, when it comes to finance, I'm really in total ignorance of that, because it's not my role at the club. So I can't really give you an answer one way or another, unfortunately.
As an ambassador, it seems to have been a bit of a damaging 24 hours. Would you agree with that?
Well, obviously, you know.
Overshadowed Dougie's appointment.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit bizarre the way things have happened, that the chief exec's left the club as well, you know. But I mean, his timing was extraordinary, really. The only kind of ray of hope we've had over the last couple of days is that Dougie's joined us, you know, and he wants to get on with the job. We want him to get on with the job, and obviously try and improve anything we can at Nottingham Forest. But when it comes to the finances, I mean, I'm not involved in that, so I can't help you there.
Okay. Let's turn it back to Dougie. You say you've been working with the first team squad today. Is
yes,
the first time
fantastic, great. Really enjoyed myself out there. Hopefully the lads did. You know, we trained at the City Ground, which is fantastic. Get a little bit of a good feel factor around them. Give them a few instructions what I like to see in a player, and more importantly, what's required when you're wearing the Nottingham Forest jersey. So that message has been put across to them. They'll go away, they'll sleep on it, and hopefully they'll see in the morning with a bright and early, a good smile on their face.
Just finally from me, you seem to have, when you've gone in at Crystal Palace and then you've gone in at Bolton, you seem to have had an immediate impact, Dougie, and that's clearly what.
Maybe that's what John. Maybe that's what John's trying to get to. It's, you know, yes, I was available. You know, I've had experience. I'm a young manager, coach. I've had a lot of experience in this division, and hopefully I can carry on with, you know, getting a hold of a club that's, you know, maybe it shouldn't be where it is right now, and lifting it up the table. You know, but I'm not a miracle worker. You know, I am looking over my shoulder. I'm going to be very realistic. You know, I'm a professional manager, looking over my shoulder, making sure that we win games of football to make sure we start getting up the league.
Thanks, Stuart.
Okay.
Colin Hazeland from Eastman Estate TV. John, how long's the contract for? How long's Dougie with us?
18 months. Sorry, John. Sorry, mate. Taking over again.
No problem.
No, sorry, mate.
Sorry, how long's for?
18 months.
18-month contract.
I can confirm that one.
Okay. That's good to know.
Straight from the manager's mouth.
And can I ask you, sorry, going back to the chief executive again, was the chief executive involved in Dougie's appointment? Was he part of that process?
Any major decision at the club has to be the chairman's and the owners. So, you know, occasionally, maybe he finds out after it's been made. I mean, it's like myself. I've been a personal advisor to Fawaz at certain times, and we've occasionally talked about the situation at the club, you know, regarding managers. But you know, he makes the final decision, and if he makes the final decision, and then unfortunately we know afterwards, that's the way it has to be. He's the one guy that makes the decision. So you know, he owns the club. He's put a fantastic amount of money into the club. And we have to give him the respect that he doesn't ask someone else to make his decisions. He's strong enough to make the decisions himself.
Dougie, the fact that we're talking about some of this stuff,
yes,
and you're there,
yes,
being appointed,
yes,
how hard is it for you to keep all the stuff that swirls around the club away from yourself, away from the players?
Yeah, difficult to answer that question because you don't know me. But if you did know me, it's very easy. I'm a football manager. I love coaching, love working with players, love working the training ground. So for this press conference to be getting directed to John's all right with me, because I'm rather at the pitch training the players right now. So I'm very comfortable, at very ease to have the great support to answer these questions that pretty much got nothing to do with me. I'm a professional manager, I'm a coach. I want to go out and play, get the team moving forward. Love to answer any other questions on that. These questions are hopefully getting answered by John.
And when you left Bolton, you had critics, but you also
yes,
had friends. Something
yeah,
come out and suggest. I've seen a couple of people say he knows what mistakes he made.
Yes.
And he knows how not to make them again. Would you like to tell us what mistakes you think you made and how you?
I learnt a lot. Put it that way. I learnt a lot. You know, when we went there, we had to move the team up very quickly. We just missed it in the playoffs, and it became a different club. It was a club that we had to then unfortunately sell a few players and manage the situation better. So I've learnt that side of it. I learned at Crystal Palace about building a team with no money, and so I learnt the lower league players have their mentality. So I've maybe learned from players coming up the leagues and players coming down from the Premiership and how to handle different situations. So it's been a fantastic 4 or 5 years from a young coach's point of view, learning experience for me. You're not always going to get it right, but as I say, you'll only get better in the job, and that's what I feel I've got.